There's a special kind of pride that you feel deep down inside, a strength that seems to thrive in Lima, Allen County.
The American way of life, to get in gear and do what's right.
An unbreakable forthright link called Real American Strength. Lima, Allen County, Real American Strength.
Keeping you up to date with what's happening in your community. Community Focus on GTV2. Thanks for joining us today on Community Focus. I'm Ann Decker, and Donna Dickman is joining us in the studio today. She is with the Partnership for Violence-Free Families, and you have a whole host of support groups that are available for people who may be encountering an upheaval in their lives.
You know, the Board of Mental Health and the Partnership for Violence-Free Families have been working together for 3 years in the prevention side. What can we do to prevent people from escalating with their needs for mental help? So that's what we're looking at, is support groups, as to say, we have those little things that are thrown at us in life. We don't see them coming often, and how do you handle it? But the good thing is that people aren't alone. A lot of people have experienced those same kind of things, and what a benefit it is to talk to other people in those similar experiences to see how they're coping too.
Well, and just to know that you're not alone with whatever you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Somebody else has been through it before. That helps.
It's so important, so important. In our community, it's great to have that, so we have those connected places, and to have that support of the Mental Health Board to say, yeah, this is a need, so let's get this on the roll.
Okay, so what support groups do you have available?
Okay, we've had 2 up and running for a little bit of time now. GRASP, and that's for the survivors of suicide, the family and friends of those that lost people to suicide. Such an important group. A lot of need there. People have a lot of questions after they lose one, and it's hard to get through that. And so we've had that group up and running. They run the first and second Tuesday of each month. Now that group, we work through WAPOC at St. Paul Church, and then we come back on the second Tuesday and come back to the partnership offices in Lima. So 2 opportunities for those folks every month.
And just show up? Do you need to call first, make an appointment?
That's the great thing about our support, is that we don't have to charge anyone. No registration, just come on in.
So whenever you feel the need to talk or get some help, you can just show up, or if you don't need it that particular month, you don't have to.
You know, and that's the thing, it ebbs and flows, right? And some days you feel more vulnerable than others days. So that's what the groups are there for. They are there. We don't take attendance to say, oh, you missed a meeting. No, come when you need that support.
Okay.
Yep.
What is the other support group that you have running right now?
Up and running on Monday night, 6:30 at the Delphus Public Library downstairs in the basement. It's for bipolar and depression. And there is a great group of folks that meet there every Monday. More are definitely welcome. It's not a counseling session, so we want to make that very clear. You're not going there to get counseling, but from other groups and family members that are struggling with mental illness. And that way they can get, know what support resources are out there, number one. The facilitators have that. But just to talk over the everyday challenges.
And again, no attendance. You can just show up,
Absolutely.
talk if you need to talk, and get some help.
Every Monday, 6:30 at the Delphus Public Library.
Okay.
Right? 3 new ones coming up.
Yeah.
And those are starting the first week of December. So we have groups that are going to be for grief outside of the suicide realm. Grief for a lot of things. Grief could be from someone, you wouldn't have to lose somebody through death to be grieving someone. It could be a really long-lasting relationship that you lost. It doesn't get spelled out like that.
Your kid moves to college and
oh boy,
empty nesters.
Yep, you're right about that.
Or off to the military.
Off to the military. Yes, I experienced that last year myself. So it can be devastating. So other people are coping with that too. Come on to the table and let's talk about that. So that is going to be starting up here very soon. Another one that's very important are grandparents raising grandchildren.
Oh, that's a growing area right now.
Yes, yes. It's hard to believe how many folks find themselves in that position. Here you think you have your family raised, and
you can go
boom.
play.
Yeah, yeah. Things happen to your adult children to where their children need taken care of, and you're finding them back in your home. You have to deal with all the paperwork, the legal paperwork, but you're raising a generation that is different from the generation 20 years before that. You know, these kids have been experienced to a lot different environment, looking at the media in itself. What are they watching on TV? Nothing like your kids watched when they were growing up. You didn't have to moderate everything so much. Schoolwork's a little bit different. And so it's a challenge for grandparents to be thrown into this role again. What a great place to share that with others and say, what did you do about this?
How did you learn how to run an iPhone?
That's right, that's right. So that's where we're going to be serving a lot of people, I think. It's going to be a morning meeting so that when those kids are in school, you have the opportunity to come. So we're going to be giving you all those times and startup dates here very soon. No registration, no cost. Just come on over.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your third one that's coming up?
The other one is for divorced and separated folks. Like I said, sometimes you don't always see things coming. It's like, wow, out of left field, how do I handle this? But other people are experiencing that as well. And so a support group has been formed for that, and we have great facilitators for every one of those support groups. We've put them through a 3-day training that we have brought specialists in from Youngstown. They went through that training to understand how support groups run and to be there for the people that need them.
All right. You actually have a website where we can get details on all this, because we've thrown a lot of information at people.
We did. And the times and startup dates are there as well.
Right.
So you can go to our website, www.pvff, like Paul Victor Frank Frank.org.
Or Partnership for Violence-Free Families.
There you go. You can go there.
And that'll have all the dates, the times, the names of the support groups, who's welcome to attend. I mean, really, if you have a need, chances are you have somebody who can help talk you through it.
That's right. And if you know someone that needs a little bit of help, please share that resource with them.
Great. We appreciate you coming in today.
Absolutely. Thanks, Ann.
You're welcome. Donna Dickman with the Partnership for Violence-Free Families. I'm Ann Decker, and this is Community Focus on GTV2.
Let's all do our part to keep the Ottawa River clean and healthy. Prevent or clean up oil and fluid leaks from your vehicle that could wash into the river. Your actions matter.
This is a nice neighborhood.
It is.
Is that the house we live in, Mom?
Yes.
Look at all the kids around here, Mom. I like this house.
Hi, we're here about the house.
It's rented.
It's against the law to deny people the opportunity to live where they want and can afford. If you feel that you've been treated unfairly, give LACA a call and we'll look into your complaint. LACA's fair housing services are free, so call today and get the housing you deserve. 419-227-2586.
Help keep the youth of Lima safe by donating to Lima Safety City today. Hello, I'm Chuck Eichelberger from the Lima Noon Optimist Club. Safety City is a very important part of the Lima community. The Optimist Club is renovating Safety City and it needs your help. Donations can be made by going to the website limasafetycity.org. You can also send a donation to Lima Noon Optimist Club, P.O. Box 428, Lima, Ohio 45802. Help keep the youth of Lima safe by donating to Safety City today.
My joints ached and I was always tired.
I was always cold, I couldn't concentrate, and my body hurt all over.
My doctor told me I had lupus. Women of childbearing age, and especially African American women, are at higher risk.
If you suspect that you have lupus, you should contact your doctor.
You're invited to attend the local lupus support group meetings on the second Thursday of each month at 1 o'clock at Lima Towers. For further information, go to connectedhands.org.
We're back on Community Focus. I'm Ann Decker, and Amy Odum is in the studio right now. She is Lima's Director of Community Development, and the topic today is the Planning Department. And I would assume they plan?
Thanks, Ann. You know, the Department of Community Development has 6 different program functions, and one that people forget about is our planning services. When you talk about planning at a city level, you're talking about basically interpretation of zoning code, application of zoning code, and working with businesses and residents who want to make a bigger life in Lima, Ohio by using the land we we have available.
Now, I guess a perfect example of this would be what we're watching right now with the zoning overlay for the Kibbe Corners neighborhood.
That's an excellent example, Ann, is that in the city of Lima, we have zoning codes that only allow certain kinds of activities, be it residential, office, commercial, or industrial in certain areas. The Kibbe Corners Development Corporation has taken upon themselves to make a proposal to Council and the Planning Commission to change the use of the land along the corridor from basically Town Square to 4th Street. What they're proposing is not actually changing the zoning, but doing an overlay, which means adding or taking away certain functions within the current zoning code to make it more consistent with the planned use for that corridor. It's a very exciting project because what it does is allow on a project basis to look at the zoning and how does it best fit a neighborhood's current use and its developing uses.
And they're trying to basically coordinate, this block is residential, this block is office, this block is industrial, because right now you drive down Main Street, it's kind of a mishmash.
You know, Lima's zoning code is very interesting in that actually our zoning code was put into place in 1957. When you think about it, it has not had a major overhaul since then.
And things have changed a bit since then.
Things have changed a bit since then. The City of Lima's zoning code is actually a pyramidal code which allows higher uses in lower in lower zoning areas. Which means you can actually put a house or a residential use in an office or business or industrial area, but you can't put industrial in a residential area. Interesting point is that when this code was written, people didn't mind living across from the railroad works, from the refinery, because it was very convenient to walk to work. So that may all be zoned industrial. As neighborhoods changed, as uses changed, suddenly you have residential homes next to business uses that they may not find as attractive. So you begin to get a mishmash, as you say, of different uses that may be conflicting. What zoning code tries to do is, much like the South Main corridor overlay, is look at how can we make a more orderly transition of these uses so everyone can be accommodated in a more attractive and a more useful way to make that neighborhood more vibrant and attractive.
So Kibbe Corners is going through the process now to attempt this, but what about the rest of the city? There's so much more than just the Main Street corridor.
Absolutely. The Main Street corridor project, again, is a project area which would be addressed by an overlay. The overall zoning code would be something that has to go through a very extensive process to be changed. The way zoning is changed is that a recommendation is made to the City Planning Commission. The City Planning Commission then makes a recommendation to City Council. Public hearings are held, and then a City Council then acts upon the request for zoning change. We're going to see all of that play out with the South Main Corridor project, and so it'll be a very interesting and exciting tool for the community to understand how zoning really does impact their lives.
And are there plans to take this to the rest of the city?
What we've done with this is that there are several different target areas that were identified, probably about 5 years ago, largely the main corridors. The Bell Fountain, if you remember, the Bell Fountain and a Market Street corridor has been identified. Also, we've looked at 81 coming in and some of the other areas that are highly trafficked that have certainly changed a lot since the late 50s.
And if there is a group, a neighborhood organization, much like Kibbe Corners Development Corporation, that wants to attempt something in their neighborhood, where do they even go to start the ball rolling?
The place to get information about zoning is with the Department of Community Development. We have an associate planner who would be happy to assist anyone if they have questions about what is their property zoned, what is their neighborhood zoned, and what is the process of making change to make it more effective for today's uses.
Okay. Other than zoning, what else does the planning department do?
The planning department works on lot splits. And we also work on larger planning processes, such as questions that may affect the code or land use. Things such as looking at partnering with our Public Works Department on parks planning, looking at some of our way that our grants can be used to improve our neighborhoods, working on our lot splits, something as simple as doing lot splits and land use for individual property owners, as well as doing planning on a grand scale.
And do you plan for the future of the city as well?
Absolutely. What we try to do is look at the trends in terms of land use, Our land bank, for instance, is a good example where we work very closely with our planning department to try to look at where land is being made available and aggregating and finding out how can we better use that for green space, for parks, for residential use, or commercial or industrial.
Okay, well, you've got a lot on your plate.
There's a lot going on, and that's just one of the programs the Department of Community Development provides to the city.
Okay, if people want more information on anything we've covered, can they call your department?
Absolutely. The Department of Community Development can be reached at 419-221-5146, or they're welcome to look at the city's website, and where all the information on all our programs are available.
And by the way, if you haven't checked out the website lately, it's fabulous. You've updated it, and it's really wonderful.
Thank you. We've tried to make it much more useful to the general public, and all the information on all our programs are available in much more detail.
Great. We appreciate you coming in today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Amy Odum from the City of Lima. When we come back, we'll tell you all about the Christmas Tree Festival right after this on GTV2.
Reduce, recycle, reuse. Allied Waste Services in the City of Lima encourage you to live green by recycling all that you can. Recycling promotes green living by reducing the amount of waste materials buried in landfills. This saves money, natural resources, and energy. Keep our environment healthy and start recycling today. Allied Waste Services is committed to a clean environment. Contact us today for your recycling needs. Visit our website, republicservicesohio.com, to learn more about recycling today.
Lima City Council has recently amended the city's vicious dog ordinance to deal with potential problems concerning dangerous dogs in the public.
The ordinance is comprehensive. However, here are some key elements that all dog owners and their neighbors should be aware of.
Any dog that is considered a breed of pit bull is considered a vicious dog regardless of its temperament.
A vicious dog is any dog that attacks, bites, or causes injury to a person or domestic animal with or without provocation.
Not under control of the owner, and secure with a muzzle and a leash of 6 feet or less in length, all vicious dogs must be confined when outside in a pen with a secured top and bottom, or with the sides of the pen embedded at least 1 foot deep into the ground.
If you're a dog owner and have concerns about any dogs in your neighborhood, visit limapolicedepartment.com to find out more about the city's vicious dog ordinance.
The fine for non-compliance is $150 per citation, and ignorance of the law is not a defense.
If there's an emergency situation, call local law enforcement for immediate assistance.
Let's all do our part to keep the Ottawa River clean and healthy. Pick up pet waste and dispose of it in your trash so it doesn't end up in the storm drain. Your actions matter.
I didn't want to be touched. He said it would feel good, but it didn't. So he gave me a new doll and some candy. He told me not to tell anybody and that it's our special secret. How do I make him stop?
Say no. Run away. Scream. It's okay to tell an adult you trust if someone is hurting you or making you uncomfortable. Feel safe. Feel strong. Feel free.
Welcome back to Community Focus. I'm Ann Decker. One of the best festivals in Lima is the Christmas Tree Festival, and this year it kicks off on November 28th. Here in the studio to talk about it is Pat Smith, who's the director of the Allen County Museum. Thanks for being here.
Well, thanks, Ann. I'm glad to be here. We're excited.
I can't believe it's here already.
40 years.
That's incredible.
40 years. That has got to be some kind of a record for a holiday festival for a community. But I think this is just really amazing when you think about this. Back in 1972, it was started by Helen Mack, and you know, the vision was simply to have something that the whole community could come together to get involved and really participate, and that's what has happened. So 40 years of that tradition, and that's our theme for this year.
What, 40 years of tradition?
40 years of Christmas traditions. And so we ask all the people that are bringing trees in, and we have 85 that are registered, and we'll probably get a few more right before we open, but ask everybody to try and figure out some way to incorporate that theme into their decorating.
Well, what a great idea.
So we'll see what happens. I mean, 1972, maybe we'll have, you know, banana seat bikes, or it's hard to
little
know.
lava lamps.
Maybe.
So we've got 85 trees, and they're what, scattered all through the museum?
They are. Plus, we also have the log house open, and the McDonald house is decorated. So, you know, people that come there, that's not just the museum, it's really pretty much the whole campus that gets incorporated into this festival. And out in the log house, they're going to be having reenactors. And we really thank the DAR and Johnny Appleseed for coming in and stepping up and doing this. And they'll do cooking demonstrations out there just the way they would have done back in pioneer days. So that's always fun and interesting, too, to see what they're up to. So.
Do you have other entertainment going on?
Absolutely, all day long. We have one lady, and it's on the committee, that does nothing but schedule entertainment.
What a fun job.
Oh, really? And this is so much fun. I mean, we get adult groups, we get kids groups, you know, little 6-year-olds still learning how to play the violin, and choral groups, and, you know, a lot of the schools. And so all day long inside the Folsom Auditorium, inside the museum, stop in, you can grab a cookie and a glass of punch or something to drink and sit and listen to the entertainment. And we'll have organists on the Page theater organ that was restored many years ago, but in the auditorium. We're also going to have some quilters in there this year. They're going to be raffling off a quilt that was donated by Fran Park, and so there's some ladies that got together and said, well, maybe it'd be fun to just set up you know, the quilting frame and get in there and give a demonstration and let people know what goes into making a quilt. So that'll be happening in the new changing gallery next to the Shea exhibit on the main level. We're also going to have Ann Miller, who's going to read the Polar Express right next to the Shea. And we say, kids, get in your jammies, come on in. There's scheduled times for that, and you can find all that on the museum's website at allencountymuseum.org.
Okay. Is Evergreen coming back?
Evergreen, the talking tree. The Christmas Tree Festival would not be the same if it were not including Evergreen, the talking tree. And this is just such a special part of the festival. The kids will come in, and sometimes they're a little hesitant to talk to a tree. Others just pour their hearts out. You'll find out what they want for Christmas, or, you know, what's worrying them right now. Maybe they're worried they're on the naughty list. We don't know, but Evergreen has all the secrets.
And then, are the kids having the opportunity to make presents like they usually do?
Yes, there's. We have the photos. You can get the photos with your head, your family's head, inside of a wreath, and some people collect these year after year. Mm-hmm. We also have the fingerprint plaques, and kids love these. They're decorated in different ways. We have one gal that just works all year long making hundreds of these, getting them ready for the kids to put their fingerprints on. We'll have a little shop for children that they can go in and buy something for mom or dad, and that's got specific hours as well. We have an adult boutique. We have gifts from the earth, which include beautiful, fragrant baskets of pine cones and greenery and so on. A bake shop. So there's just so many things going on inside the museum, and then of course the tour of the McDonald House and the Log House. So it's just, there's so many things.
It's a fun day.
It is.
You know, leave a couple hours to get through and see everything that's going on.
Yeah, and then we let people make a judgment too, which tree they like the best, like a People's Choice Award kind of thing. So, and some of these trees are just fantastic, the way they're so clever what they do to incorporate the themes.
And they really put so much time and effort into them.
Absolutely. And these are groups from all over Allen County. We get scouting groups, church groups, groups related to the hospitals, just all matter of nonprofits, some businesses, some individuals. So we encourage people, always think ahead for next year. If you'd like to get involved, just let us know.
No, it is a true community event.
It is.
And the dates this year are?
November 28th through December the 2nd. And again, I encourage you to check our website because the hours are not the same every day. Friday this year, we will have extended hours till 8 p.m. We know some people have a little trouble getting there during the day if they work. So extended hours on, and Saturday and Sunday we'll be there. Saturday all day 10 to 5, Sunday 1 to 5. So check the website and or call the museum and we'll give you all the information.
Okay, now a special thing we do need to mention is that when you kick it off on Wednesday the 28th, tell us about your new flagpole.
Well, we have a brand new flagpole out in front of the museum, and this was an idea that was proposed to us by a young man named Tyler Rigg, who goes to Lima Central Catholic, and he wanted to do this as an Eagle Scout project. And so he went out and raised all the funds to purchase the new flagpole, and he enlisted the help of other scouts, and they installed the pole very recently. And we thought this would be a nice way to kick off the festival. And remember, you know, that our country is free because of all of the things and people that preceded us, which is an important message of history that you'll find at the museum. So what a great way to say, Merry Christmas, let's celebrate who we are and the many fortunes we have. So that'll be at 9:45 Wednesday morning, November 28th. And please stop by. We'll have a ribbon cutting and put the flag up with a color guard and just kick things off in a very festive mood.
Well, we'll definitely be there. And thanks for coming in and sharing it with us.
Thanks, Ann.
You're welcome. Pat Smith from the Allen County Museum. I'm Ann Decker, and this is Community Focus on GTV2.